Welcome to diet culture, the Western phenomenon that everything about the way you look, age, smell, and show up physically in this space is inherently wrong and needs to be modified at all times. This is especially true if you are identifying as a female, in which case, your sole job on this planet is to modify yourself to fit the needs of the patriarchy. This is diet culture. My name is Sheena, and I am a registered dietitian specializing in eating disorders, disordered eating, and just dismantling all this disarray, which is diet culture. So, today we're going to chat a little bit about what diet culture is and how we can divest ourselves from it and remove ourselves from becoming a key piece in propelling the marginalization of bodies. Diet culture stems from the idea that there is always something to be fixed about our bodies. Most notably, we should always be in the smallest body size humanly possible. It is our job as females, according to diet culture, to continually be restricting our food, over exercising, and compensating for any off limits foods at all times. We see it in not only our family structures, but also our school systems, healthcare infrastructures, and our social spaces. We do not even create spaces for people that are in larger bodies. We have a very small, narrow spectrum of physical space that is allowed for each body, which infrastructurally tells us that in order to be present with other people, we need to be in the smallest body possible. Now, this is a very subtle thing that we do. We call it health promotion. You should always be striving to be in the healthiest body, which according to diet culture is also the smallest body. So be in the smallest body possible. Rule numero uno, according to diet culture, which means that you should be continually restricting your food and increasing your physical activity in a laborious way that, of course, is not enjoyable because your core duty in this world is to live in the smallest possible body. Now, if you're not in the smallest possible body that you can be, the healthcare infrastructure will continue to remind you that you should cut your calories, potentially cut your carbs, depending on who's talking to you, and make sure that you're exerting yourself to an exhausting level. So, our healthcare infrastructure will actually compromise your health in order to tell you to be in a smaller body. Because many times they have no actual insight into the things that you're eating and the way that you're moving your body before they tell you, hey, simply go lose weight. Now, we tell our society subconsciously that we need them to be smaller at all times. Threshold of body weight, our society says we're not going to give you any more clothing that fits your body comfortably or that you might find appealing. And this is a really great example of diet culture at its finest. You will be obedient or we will not provide you with any resources. Now, when it comes to diet culture, the higher up on the weight spectrum that we see an individual, the more scrutinized they are likely to be in our culture. Now, this can be not only very detrimental to one's mental welfare, but also to their physical welfare, especially when we see diet culture seeping into things like healthcare. Diet culture wants you always on a diet. It wants you to continue to invest in the system because it wants to take all of your time, energy, and money. Now, it will disguise itself in any way that it needs in order to fulfill this need to keep these big industries afloat. And this will include telling you that it's all about your health, that you have an obligation to be in a smaller body because that means you're a more worthy and a more disciplined individual that cares about yourself and is okay to be in the social realm because you are a person that contributes to society. Now, all this is bullshit, but the diet industry will continue to sell it to you year after year after year. And you may continue to invest in it until death do you part, unless you take the rebellious approach and ditch diet culture for good.